Suva from Fiji. Just thought I'd do a little entry here, and driving back to Nadi today and flying home tomorrow. So just wanted to make a little longer entry. I don't know if this is going to make some of my viewers' cars sick or not, but I guess you can close your eyes if it's a problem. So Fiji was a long time in the making. The church, St. Nick's in particular, was looking for a mission destination for our youth. About 2 years ago, we were pretty serious about sending a group of youth. We set aside a bit of money to do that, and I started looking for a place in the Pacific where we could serve. And we got pretty serious about Alaska for a while, but before we had talked about Alaska, I was looking at other islands, and I was really kind of looking for some place that had a program established, some place that already kind of had projects lined up, people on the ground, so that we weren't trying to create something from scratch, and also to support an existing ministry. Having run a hosting mission organization, I see value in that because it keeps some continuity and it balances the service that's provided. So I was looking for a place in the Pacific, and the only place that I found in the Pacific with an organized, there's lots of places that have church relationships and things among Hawaii, especially into the Philippines, but the only place that had like a kind of a standardized short-term mission offering in the Pacific was Students International. I suppose there's others, but this is the only one I could find. And so I contacted Students International about their program a couple years ago, and they have a vision trip, or a trip for leaders to come and see their program. And they invited me at that time, and I waited, not knowing where we'd end up going. And they invited me again maybe 3 or 4 months ago. Initially, I had said I wouldn't be able to make it this time. Sarah was gone in January, and we kind of have a lot going on right now in our lives, and it also came on Valentine's Day, and I thought, man, I don't know. But once again, my bride, my beautiful wife, surprised me. And when I said no already, but when I told her that they'd contacted me, she's like, "Oh man, don't you think you should go?" And I kind of do, but I also really like being married. She said, "Well, if someone asked me to go to Fiji, I would go." So once again, my wife is the encourager, the support, and so thank you, Sarah. And so I wrote back and said if there's still room for the vision trip, that I'd like to participate. And booked a ticket, and then came to find out that we knew some people who had spent a great deal of time in Fiji. It wasn't until after I booked my ticket and said yes. So, in coming, I spent the first 4 days with Students International. The first 2 days we spent mostly doing site visits. My very first visit was to the prison. That was a little odd, have that be right out the gate, Got in Wednesday night, had some trouble getting here, had a few things stolen from my bag. I kind of tried to set that aside from my mind. Never really had stuff stolen when I was traveling before. I like to keep my things on me. So I had my bag in the overhead, and they asked to put it below because they had trouble latching. The latches was broken on the plane, and I had forgotten that I had a few valuables left in that bag. Usually I keep my valuables in a smaller bag right next to me. So I said yes, and when I got here I realized they were missing. Most notably a letter I was carrying to somebody here, so that's a little heartbreaking. Other much like silly stuff like Cliff Bars and a flashlight. Kind of too bad, but I tried to set that out of my mind. I shared it with my wife, just kind of like letting it go. I tried to set that aside because I didn't want to bring that that perspective into my trip into Fiji. So I kind of set that aside, and then so the date went and stayed at Student International Headquarters Wednesday night, Thursday morning. First thing, we prayed together, we read some scripture together, and then they took us to prison. So spent the morning in the prison, got to visit an elder care home, a couple of schools, some pretty remarkable places, and some really remarkable people doing ministry, which my other video tries to capture their voice, their perspective, share about their ministry. So I think that's more important than this one, really, now that you're like 6 minutes in or something. Hope you watch that one first. Wanted to provide a little bit of my thoughts too, but it was striking to me those first 2 days that to be in a place that doesn't separate religion from everything, that teachers were able to pray with their students, that we could go into a prison and not meet with just one or two people that we might know or have a relationship with, or not even into like a chapel and have it as an option of guys to come down, but to actually go into the cell blocks, and then those who didn't want to participate could be excused, kind of the other way around. To hear them sing, to hear them pray, it was a really remarkable experience. To see that again in the elder care home, to see it in the schools. And the hospitality all the way around has been fantastic. And then on Saturday they wanted to show us what you experience as a tourist in Fiji. So they took us to another little island, a chance to go swim and participate in like a little resort area. Snorkeling, glass bottom boat, swimming, pool. That was kind of fun also because we get to meet people from kind of all over. We got to know some Fijians, but we also met Australians and a couple from Israel, others from the States, Japan, China. Really pretty fantastic time. Just a beautiful day. Yeah, you see those pictures. Those, I guess, when I first think of Fiji, that's kind of the impression I have. And I think when I told people I was going to Fiji, that's kind of what they were thinking. But as we drive, you can see that a lot of the resorts are a part of it, yes, but there's really another large part of Fiji that maybe we don't think about. The faith of the people here is amazing. We went to church on Sunday, got to participate in Assembly of God liturgy. So very, very different than kind of my normal church experience, kind of what I'm used to. A good deal of it was in languages I didn't understand, and that was fascinating. And it was, to me, in stark contrast to when I've been to liturgies in other languages that were familiar. It kind of gave me a love for the common liturgy among the Anglican and Episcopal churches, or even the Catholic churches when I attended in Spain last year. Even though I don't really know Spanish, so everybody can tell. I knew right where we were in the liturgy. I could even offer the liturgy in English as they offered it in Spanish. I mean, it was pretty wonderful in that regard. So, very different church experience. The Students International program is pretty fantastic in that they have ongoing mission. They have people from Fiji serving. They're creating jobs through their program, so they have a presence year-round in each of their sites. And then as students and families and others come and join that mission, they're adding to and accentuating the ministry, not just coming in a whirlwind to do ministry. They're participating in ministry that exists. So I think that's of great value as we contemplate what we might be able to do with Students International in the future. And then these last 2 days, yesterday and today, have been fantastic in a different regard. So yesterday, as many were leaving the Students International, the SI site, I caught a cab with my new Kiwi friends to the airport, rented a car, and drove myself to Suva. And the chance to see part of the island has been wonderful. But today, as I drive and I'm listening to some sermon podcasts and some scripture, I'm realizing how valuable the time for me is just for reflection. In large part because here we are reflecting on the end of a mission experience and a cross-cultural experience in a time that the timing of the reflection is quite valuable. But even beyond that is just how little time we sometimes offer for reflection. So just having time to listen and kind of reflect and be today has been wonderful. And I wanted to capture some of that as I drive along, as I ruminate on it, as it kind of bounces around in my brain. And I appreciate all the support that I get from home, from my family. I appreciate the support of my church. Appreciate the opportunity to come and to pray and serve alongside others. The fellowship and the hospitality I've experienced here. And I hope that this little reflection is helpful to